Jordan Poole is undoubtedly one of the funnest players to watch in the NBA, even though he's not really consistent and the Wizards have been one of the worst teams in the league. When he decides to lock in, I just get so excited because his way of getting buckets are crazy. And I know he puts up some outrageous shots that even his teammates can believe. There are some elements from his game that you can apply to yours to make scoring easier. Today I'm going to break it down into different aspects and dive into the details of his decision making and deep back so that you can apply them to your game. My name is Matt and welcome to my channel. Now let's begin the video. JP's shot selection sometimes isn't great, and since the Wizards don't have any good superstars on the roster, they have the lowest defensive and offensive rating and currently have the worst record in the NBA. These type of shots where Poole brings the ball up but just dribbles all around, not being able to make any play, then decides to shoot a turnaround jumper. And even though sometimes he makes them, these are definitely not good shots and you shouldn't try to replicate them in a real game. First, I want to cover the pick and rolls, more specifically pull-ups off the pick and roll, since this is an easy read and leads to wide open shots. When there's a drop coverage in which the big man is backing up, not letting you attack the rim while also not letting go of your pick setter, most of the time your defender gets behind and you have enough gap for a wide open pull-up. You gotta have a great footwork getting into the shot to get the rhythm, like JP with that 1-2 step. Attacking drop coverages is easy since you have a lot of time to decide if you go at it, being aware of the options out of it. It's also good for mid-range shooters since you have a lot of gap to attack and pull up from the mid-range area with slide or even no contest. Another thing that JP does well is a step back or a side step off the pick and roll. These moves are great ways to escape the defender and get more open shots. Remind you that these are tougher shots and need practice, but are very effective if used well. He sometimes uses escape dribbles to create even more space without carrying the ball or traveling. This shows how free he's moving and how confident of a ball handler he is. He also likes to attack picks with speed, but not rushing, just reading the defense well and making a good decision. Poole is also great at attacking the pick and using different finishes. Floater is a great type of finish which is hard to block and very effective, and you can see him using it a lot. But he doesn't just shoot it randomly, but makes a great read that there is Brook Lopez in the paint who is a good shot blocker, so the floater is the perfect finish to use against him. And like I said, JP takes time reading the help defense with using a hesitation and then making the decision to take a floater. You can see other variations and ways to attack a pick and roll situation, like denying it with a great in and out move, which is Poole's go-to, or splitting the screen if the defender leaves a gap and an open lane to the paint. The best way to attack a pick is by going slower, reading the help defense and your teammates' positioning so that you can make the very best decision to get a bucket for you or your teammates. Don't be afraid to attack the big man and use other crafty finishes like the high off the glass finish, which JP uses a lot because it works well on shot blocker bigs if put high enough. This layup requires a soft touch and a good positioning that you can practice alone as well. I mean, just look at this clip. Porzingis has a 9'4" standing reach and he can't even get close to the ball. I marked the height of the rim and the height of the ball so y'all can see the gap between them. When training, you should focus on multiple situations with live defense because this is the best way to simulate game speed. Don't be repetitive. Work on different situations and finishes so when it's game time, you will know most of the possibilities and outcomes. You can see that sometimes JP has a weird positioning or does something unnatural, but that's what makes the game beautiful. And now, let's get into the second section. The second thing I want to cover is his mid-range game. Nowadays in the league and overall in basketball, players don't take middies that often, but there might be high school or college players watching who use them more. Poole uses different types of shots in this area. For example, the pull-up. These aren't simple pull-ups. Like other shots, it has a read behind it. In this clip, he gets a handoff and now has a situation to read. If you want to get to the rim, there's his defender. And there's KD on the strong side help and Booker on the weak side. So what JP does is use his defender's momentum going forward to do a sudden pull-up, which is going to lead to an uncontested jumper. The best way to score more points and just be good at basketball is by being able to use the defense to your advantage. Don't let them dictate your pace, but make them react to your decisions. Poole is great at attacking the rim, that's why defenders keep distance to protect it, so he uses this gap to his advantage by pulling up for an uncontested jumper. If there is Wemby in the paint who has a huge standing reach, JP for sure won't attack the rim to get blocked, but since he has enough gap, he pulls up for a great rhythm too. He also likes to do snatchbacks and side steps. When attacking the rim and the defender starts to turn his hip to keep up with Poole, he makes the read and pull it back, doing the same thing on the same defender at the same exact spot twice, making him get lost. JP also attacks open gaps and is always looking for open shots with the side step escape dribble move. Another move that he likes to use is the turnaround jumper. He attacks, then stops with a wide base and puts up a high arcing shot, making them at a high level. He has elite footwork using half spins, which makes defenders get loose. This is a tough fadeaway shot, but he's able to control his body, not letting it fall back and hit the shot. It's a move definitely worth working on, since it can elevate your shooting game and your footwork. And now that we covered shot creating with the ball, let's focus on off the ball for a bit. Just like his shoe line says, JP cuts, and he does it well. Moving off ball is important to get it without touching it. When it comes to cutting, there are two things that you need. First is open space in the paint where you can cut to, and second, your defender to overplay the passing lane too much, which can make you get ahead of him using a slide push, avoiding an offensive foul but still getting the advantage. And even though Bobby Portis blocked his shot, this was a great cut. You can not only cut from standing, but also from screen. You can see here JP notices the open space, and by using a fake off-ball screen, he can slip between the two defenders and get an easy lay. Being a great scorer also means that you are great at getting shots without even touching the ball. For example, Steph Curry also moves a lot of the ball, so he can go to open spaces and get a shot off. The important thing is to never stop, always move around the court to open spaces so your teammates can find you. Look at this clip. Bilal Coulibaly from the Wizards moves to the other corner and draws Hawkins with him. Now JP is isolated with his defender being stuck on him. With a slide push, Poole is able to break free and have a wide open layup. Perfect example of a great cut. And now let's get to finishing, which is an exciting part of his game. I know I talked about his finishing earlier in the pick and roll section, but there are still some type of finishes that I didn't cover and are worth looking at. He uses reverse finishes a lot and does it using a great and underrated move, the Pinoy step. In this move, when you pick up the ball, you take a slow first step using a shot fake, then do a long step to the other side of the rim and put up a reverse layup. This is a great way to fake out defenders, and no, this is not a treble on any level. Another type of finish JP likes to use is the same foot, same hand finishing. This finish is excellent to throw off the defender's timing trying to block your shot. You can see that Poole also uses his offhand to keep a separation between him and the defense. Most of the time when the D would try to block the shot, it would already be in the basket. JP puts it up high off the glass, which I talked about earlier, so even when Jarrett Allen jumps in the right time, he can block it. Poole also makes this with contact, which he's not afraid to use. Why JP can finish so well is because when he's going to the rim, he's not slowing down. A lot of players slow down by instinct when getting to the basket because they can sustain the force of the jump at this speed, which only makes the defense be able to catch up easier. However, Poole carries on the speed and energy throughout the drive and uses it for a long takeoff. Many times he gets a contact or loses his balance, but he's able to control his body and finish. The imperfection of his finishes makes him a great finisher. He can slim it down, do a finger roll, or get crazy and ones. This is what I call a fun player to watch. Overall, JP is one of my favorite players because he's free to use any kind of move or put up amazing shots with confidence. I love the way he's moving around the court and doing crazy handle combos. We all know we can be a part of a championship team as well, like the Warriors in 2022, which he played a crucial role on, but ended sadly for him. I hope that you can take away some information for yourself after this video. Please feel free to let me know your thoughts about it. And since this is my first time starting a channel, I will be thankful for any tips that can help me elevate the quality of the videos and therefore your experience. I'm planning on making more breakdowns, but also showing y'all workouts and even vlogging. Also, don't forget to check out my socials and follow me for more content. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, stay blessed.